suggest there be criminal charges against Hillary Clinton. And so what they're saying in the Clinton camp, they are taking that as a victory. They are going to embrace it. Brian Fallon, a Clinton spokesman, saying a moment ago on Twitter, quote, "We were always confident nothing would cause the July decision to be revisited. Now Director Comey has confirmed it." I think what's most remarkable for James Comey, of course, is that his credibility had already been under fire in July when he walked up to the line of saying the laws were broken and then didn't do anything. Credibility challenged again a couple of weeks ago when he kind of inserted himself into this election at such a late date. Howls of protest from the Obama Justice Department. The President of the United States, by the way, a few days ago, extraordinary interview where he basically said he didn't think there was any there. That led a lot of eyebrows to be raised about whether he was injecting politics and telling his own Justice Department how they might rein in James Comey.
So to bring you up to speed, remember that expanded email probe 9 days ago, the one that turned the entire election upside down? Many will argue tightened the polls considerably. There were other issues that were already tightening them. Well, forget about that. The FBI director who really triggered that October surprise, triggering another surprise in just the other direction. James Comey essentially saying that what they have gotten off of that server does not lead them to believe that a further investigation is necessary and does nothing to change the agency's initial conclusion from back earlier this summer that there was no reason to pursue criminal charges against Hillary Clinton. If you're confused, you are not the only one. Now to the fallout from all of this with former Reagan advisor Ed Rollins, former Carter pollster Pat Caddell. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you.
All right, so help me with this, Ed. You could argue that a lot of the Trump momentum was already building and Hillary Clinton was suffering in the polls, I think having a lot to do with revelations about, skyrocketing premiums for the Affordable Care Act. This probably helped Donald Trump. This is out of the equation for now. Will it move the needle or do anything in the next couple of days?
I think it leads to the whole basically premise that Washington is corrupt, and that I'm not accusing the director of being corrupt. I'm basically accusing the director of having taken a sledgehammer and smashing the statue of justice in the lobby of the FBI building. He is basically, he doesn't know what's in those 650,000 emails. First of all, the emails should not have been in anything that former Congressman Weiner had in his possession. He doesn't have any clearance whatsoever. So if you're saying there's a 650,000 emails in there that were delivered from whom or what have you, then there's not a classified document in there, I think that's absurd. Equally as important, giving the thing to the Congress on a Sunday afternoon without basically any feedback one way or the other, no public announcement, I think basically is going to be viewed by many as a cover-up and viewed by many as this is what's wrong with Washington, let's clean it up. And I think that works to Trump's advantage.
You know, it is interesting and not too surprising, Pat, that now Republicans are just exasperated at Comey. So it is that rare time when both sides are disliking him now. A lot of Democrats are angry at him for having brought them to this point. But be that as it may, will this make any difference in voters' minds? That is, among those who've not already voted, close to 40 million already have. Will it make any difference in the next couple of days?
Who knows, really? I don't think so that much. I think that what we have here, because I think the big wheels are in motion, as they were before this. There was that narrative developing. If Trump won, it was Comey. I think it gave some help to Trump. But that was already moving to the bigger stage, and I have a different argument. But look, you have the President of the United States, who has twice before said Hillary Clinton was innocent, before any investigation was done, that she had done nothing wrong, and then he attacks Comey the other day. You have the Justice Department, which clearly it is so much worse. It is the Eric Holder, Loretta Lynch Justice Department, which we know has been trying to trample down investigations in a way not even the Mitchell Justice Department did. We have, it's what Ed said about corruption. Everyone believed this. You notice I didn't jump up and down when Comey came out because I said the whole FBI was a mess. This whole thing has been a mess. I believe that he was under intolerable pressure from the Justice Department, the President, and broke. There's no way you could go through, as they assured us, 650,000 emails and know what was there.
All right, we should just say here, Brian Fallon, of course, as we just updated a little bit earlier, had been saying with the Clinton campaign, that we were always confident nothing would cause the July decision to be revisited. Now Director Comey has confirmed it.
Well,
then along came Kellyanne Conway to respond in a pretty crisp tweet herself, that then why did you, talking to Fallon, your colleagues and your candidate, attack Comey and his credibility? Will any of this resonate one way or the other, Ed Rollins, among voters who I suspect are pretty confused?
Well, I think the vote, people who are committed to Trump and committed to Hillary are pretty much there. I think on the same day that you discover that the maid in Mrs. Clinton's household was Xeroxing confidential documents, basically running around, faxing, what have you. The same day you discovered that the foundation that was supposed to do all this good around the world was paying for daughter Chelsea's wedding, employing her, doing all kinds of stuff, and for the FBI director to step out in the afternoon and say, guess what, guys, we've quickly looked at all 650,000, and the decision that I made before, which there was a lot that she didn't do or should have done, but I don't find anything that changes my opinion, I think is so absurd. And I think to a certain extent, a man I had a lot of respect for, Mr. Comey, I think I have much less respect. But I think relative to the election, I think people who don't want the mess that's there are going to stay with Trump.
I want to say one thing here. Look, this answer to all of this is, and I said this the other day, I believe it, is that there needs to be a special independent counsel who is outside of Washington, who is non-political, to take over this entire investigation. The Justice Department can't be trusted. The FBI is in chaos, and we need a legitimate investigation. And as Ed said, we still have the foundation. And by the way, I guess it's okay that the maid was Xeroxing and faxing confidential and often classified documents, but you know the public.
We don't know that. To be fair, we don't.
Okay,
we don't know that. But I just want to real cycle this very quickly. Do you think now that whatever surge Donald Trump was having slows or stops, whatever drop that Hillary Clinton was having slows or stops? Because even prior to this news today, both their positions seem to be cementing in key states. What do you make of that?
No, but they're not. In one sense, as I said to you, as I tracked this against 1980, I told first of all, I went through all of these tracking polls. Most of them in the latest polls, the tracking polls show him closing or doing better.
All right, so bottom line, you don't see that changing one way or the other.
I don't see that changing
Ed
much.
Rollins, do you see anything changing as a result of what we found out in the last 20 minutes?
Absolutely not. I think people who think the system is broken are going to think it's even more broken.
All right, guys, man, oh man, you can't make this stuff up. We've got Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi with us right now. And Attorney General, I'm telling you, it gets curiouser and curiouser. Now, many argue cynically that, Comey locked himself into his own little corner here because he reopened this or announced this reprobe, whatever you want to call it, last week. He was obliged to update us if something had changed or whatever. And the change was that no, nothing in those emails, at least that had been detected off of Anthony Weiner's server, looked worthy enough to change the original read not to pursue a criminal case against Hillary Clinton. What do you make of that?
Well, Neil, this confirms everything Donald Trump's been saying about the system. The system is dysfunctional, the system is broken, and Hillary Clinton is the system. This is the entire system in D.C., Neil, and think about the way that was crafted. And again, I know we're all still trying to digest it, but he's referring back to his July conference about the emails. So let's look at it in the light most favorable to Hillary Clinton. So he's still saying she was extremely careless. No one who is extremely careless with classified emails can have a security clearance, especially the President of the United States of America.
Well, by the way, you hit on a theme that Paul Ryan, the Speaker, just echoed in a statement.
And I haven't heard that yet.
Well, let me pass this along. But regardless of this decision, this is coming from Speaker Ryan, the undisputed finding of the FBI investigation is that Secretary Clinton put our nation's secrets at risk, and in doing so, compromise our national security. What will come of that, do you think?
Yeah, well, how can we have a president who cannot have security clearance? It's unreal to me. But Neil, stay with me for a minute on this. So he was talking about the emails. You still have, as I heard you say earlier, I think what he said was very specific about those emails. You still have the whole Clinton Foundation out there.
No, you're right. But are you
your
saying that
guest
there's a
earlier was
possibility?
saying.
No, I just want to be clear. You're not saying that if she's elected this week, Hillary Clinton, that she, as President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief would not get security clearance or should not get?
I think should have I don't think she should at all.